Hey guys, in a previous video, we discussed about George Washington and how he finally resigned as the first president after 2 terms of being in the office. And in his farewell address, he warned against the development of political parties. Today, we're going to talk about John Adams' presidency, and we're going to start off with the election of 1796. This was the first election where political parties competed in the election, although Washington warned against this very thing. The Federalist Party picked George Washington's vice president, John Adams. The Democratic Republican Party chose Thomas Jefferson to represent their party. In the election, Adams received 71 votes in the Electoral College and Jefferson received 68. This in turn made Adams the second president. According to the Constitution, the runner up in an election would become the vice president. Therefore, Thomas Jefferson became the vice president of John Adams. Now, if you remember our conversation about political parties, you could see how this could potentially cause some problems in the office, having two opposing viewpoints trying to run the country together. In 1797, the relationship between France and the US was pretty tense. We know that when Washington was president, he signed a neutrality proclamation that stated that we were not going to get involved in foreign affairs. So at this time, France was a little upset because they had helped the United States, and the United States was not returning the favor. Therefore, the U.S. merchant ships were being seized by the French. President Adams sent a delegate to Paris in order to negotiate a peace treaty. When he arrived there, he met up with some French ministers. They are known as XYZ because we do not know their names, and they requested a bribe before they would even start making any type of negotiation. The Federalists wanted to go to war with France, but Adams did not. So, in 1798, Congress canceled its treaties with France and started allowing the U.S. ships to seize French vessels. Adams asked Congress to set aside money to expand the Army and the Navy. This was known as the XYZ Affairs. Now, as a result of the XYZ Affairs, the Democratic Republican Party started feeling sorry for France and started to openly criticize John Adams' presidency and how he was running the country. Of course, Adams was angered by this criticism and blamed the Democratic Republican newspaper as well as immigrants that were living in the country. There were quite a few Irish and French immigrants, and Adams decided to use them as scapegoats for this criticism. Congress passed the Alien and Sedition Acts in order to silence their critics. The Alien Act stated that the president would be able to deport any alien that was considered dangerous. The Sedition Act made it illegal for newspapers to criticize the president or Congress. If you violated this act, you would face punishment in prison. As a response to these acts, the Kentucky and Virginia resolutions were written. They were written by Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, and they stated that they could nullify or cancel any federal law that they did not agree with. These resolutions declared that the Alien and Sedition Acts violated the First Amendment to the Constitution, which was the freedom of speech and press. As we move into our later lessons, these are going to be important to remember as we start to talk about relationships between other foreign countries.